Protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents. The only Republican to vote no, Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Maryland Governor Wes Moore gets a prestigious appointment from a man he's been very critical of, President Donald Trump. The president appointed Moore to serve as one of the 5 Democrats in the National Association of Governors. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin tapped to be one of 5 Republican appointees. 2 governors have a fireside chat.
Wow, JC. You want to say it's gross, me eating on camera? How many times the LD come up on your panel and he fucking eating Taco Bell or whatever? Most disgusting fucker out here. He pisses on that woman's jacket and you fucking let him up on your panel. You guys, you know, JC, you're watching my show. I got you to respond. Yeah. You want to, how ironic. You want to cry about me fucking banning or somebody, timing somebody out. That's what you're all about. You don't like to get timed out, do you, JC? I could have timed you out any number of times. I did there one day. I cloned Zenny and went into fucking Bernie's chat. Fucking bitch. Fuck you, JC. I told you a long time ago, Rusty's the least of your worries. It's people like me you fucking need to be concerned about, JC, because you're a fucking idiot. Bitch. Just shoot the tires. Just shoot the tires. You think Rusty yelling, "Oh, shut the fuck up" is bad? I didn't time you out, you fucking asshole. Rum, you don't have any say in this chat, Rum. You're an absolute fucktard. Suck fuck. Sorry. I say fucktard because that's what they say all the time. Wiggin. Fucktard. Oh, fucktard. Oh, you're a suck fuck. It's proven that Rum is he's a porn bomber, but then Wiggin lets him come back in. Wiggin is employing acid drip. He condones that shit. Don't you, Wiggin? Come into my chat, Charlie. I'm gonna ban your accounts. Your brother too. Fuck you guys. I don't need you fuckers here. What the fuck I need you for? Dilly's my battle buddy. No, I do all the fucking work. You don't do shit. Okay, other than suck Wiggins' cock. Why do you like sucking Wiggins' cock so much? I don't understand that. Ugh. You gonna do something, Wiggin? Bet you can't. What the fuck you gonna do, Wiggin? JC sounds just like you. Oh, he times everybody out. That's why nobody goes to his chat. Fucking bunch of hypocrites. Let's see what Mark Levin has to say tonight. Fucking Kash Patel. Is he the first Indian FBI director? I wonder. He is a minority, right? You should be praising this, Hitesh. Yeah, he's on because he plays the national anthem. Hey, Mike H., I cloned your fucking dumbass. Here you are. There he is. That's a screenshot. This is not doctored. This is him off his own channel. There's Mike H. He says he's 6'2", 6'4", and Big tall guy. No, you're not. You're sawed off fucking runt. Look how small your head is. Bald little blind fucker. Mike H. Oh, I coined it. Oh, Las Vegas. Oh, there's Jason's partner right there, Steve Nash. There he is. Makes an avatar, you can barely see his fucking head and shit, right? That's him right there. Look at his fucking eyeballs. Fuck you, Harrison.
First of all, congratulations to Cash Patel. And many of you had a lot to do with that, contacting your members of the Senate, as we discussed. Thank you for that. He's going to be a great director of the FBI. All the cabinet positions and individuals that we cared about have now been confirmed. So I want to thank you very, very much. This is very different than the first time around when they were dragging out these nominees. Schumer was successful in it, and we got ahead of this. The president got ahead of this and pushed this agenda. Very, very important. We talked about it here on the Blaze and on Fox, and I want to thank you all who got involved in that process. And I want to thank the Republicans who voted for these for these nominees as well. Very, very important for the presidency and this president to have these cabinet secretaries, to have these particular cabinet secretaries. You know, it's very weird, these aggregation sites or aggregator sites, whether it's Drudge or Mediaite and so forth. There's some really good ones. But there's some that I just scratch my head sometimes and I wonder why they even exist. Take this site called Mediaite, set up by Dan Abrams, who likes to pose as a serious lawyer while he's Jerry Springer on cable TV. They have this guy, Kobe Howell, I think his name is. I think he was some behind-the-scenes guy on cable or whatever. I don't know. Then they have mostly left-wing individuals whose job, I guess it is, to pick off TV shows and radio shows and clips and then put titles on them and then put their spin on them. I don't know. Everybody who listens to this program for years knows what I think about Putin and Russia. I've been behind this microphone almost 25 years. Putin's been the dictator of Russia for 24 years. Everybody knows what I think of Putin and Russia who listens to this program. Everybody knows what I think of Zelensky in Ukraine, especially since Russia invaded Ukraine. I haven't made it a secret. I talk about it all the time. All the time. Now, my position is not hidden. My position is not unknown. Some people love it. Some people hate it. That's the nature of the beast. And so yesterday when I said what my position was, and I went through it, and I talked about the poll numbers for Zelensky, I talked about the poll numbers for Putin, who started the war and so forth. It's a big headline at Mediaite, which absolutely hates Donald Trump and me, about how I am defying Donald Trump. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Defying Donald Trump? What does that even mean? I'm a broadcaster. I'm a writer. I'm probably the biggest, certainly one of the biggest supporters of this president. I have my views about Russia and Ukraine. And Donald Trump's views about Russia and Ukraine are not the same as the views as some of these people in podcasting and radio, on TV, who claim to speak for Donald Trump. Not officially, but they just project, they say, what he thinks. And they're often dead wrong. You know, the Democrats have tried to tie Putin to Trump. They're still trying to do it. And yet we have some real kooks from the Quincy Institute, funded by Soros and Koch, and just others, gadflies, who are trying to do the same thing in their own perverse way. Donald Trump is not tied to Putin. He's not Putin's sucker. He's not Putin's mouthpiece. He has certain views about certain things. And sometimes he's 10 steps ahead of us, as he has been in the Middle East and in other places too. So my views are my views. They're not a quote-unquote defiance of Donald Trump. They're not an attack on Donald Trump. 81% of the American people don't trust Putin. That's out from Wednesday. That means the vast majority of you, the vast majority of MAGA, Make America Great Again, don't trust or like Putin. They say 9% of the American people do. Now, 73% of Republicans do not. 93% of Democrats do not. But there's a 9%er group out there who I call Putinoids because it rhymes with hemorrhoids. It's not that they just oppose supporting Ukraine. It's that they have their heads up Putin's ass. That's the problem. Now, these are important distinctions. But it's lost. On Isaac Shore, I think his name is. It's lost in the Drudge Report because why? I wrote a book called On Freedom of the Press. This is pseudo-news. So they desperately want to fight between Mark Levin and Donald Trump. Not going to happen. It isn't happening. Let me tell you something else. I think the only person who can pull off a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine is Trump, just as he's done in the Middle East. But I have my views about Ukraine and Russia. I have my views about a lot of things that don't always sync up with Ronald Reagan or Milton Friedman or Bill Buckley or Donald Trump. But the difference is we come at this from the same perspective. We love America. We're concerned about America's security. You know, big people, mature adults, they have discussions about these things. It doesn't mean it's personal. It doesn't even mean it has anything to do with Donald Trump. I gave my opinion. Now, when I said these Putinoids are un-American, they're dangerous, had nothing to do with Donald Trump. I couldn't have been more clear yesterday. You can go back on the Mark Levin show, which is where these guys went anyway, and listen to it. We put the audio of this show up a few hours after it's over. And go listen to it. I speak real English. Yeah, plain English.
It was 17 below this morning.
Can understand exactly what I'm saying. So these efforts, these efforts to bait hits, I guess they call it, right, Mr. Producer? At Mediocre or at the Drudge Report, reject them completely. I've also talked about Biden. Biden gave a lot of money to Ukraine and a lot of arms to Ukraine and a lot of restrictions to Ukraine. So Ukraine couldn't win. So Ukraine's fighting a war against Russia that can blow out its cities, that can blow out its energy systems, that can do horrendous damage to the people of Ukraine. But Ukraine cannot attack Russian cities. So Biden did Ukraine what he was trying to do to Netanyahu in Israel. Supported them to a point, restrictions on the use of their weapons. Do not take out Iran. Do not take out Iran's nuclear sites. Do not go into Lebanon. But Netanyahu went anyway. Thank God he did, and so forth. Don't go into Rafah. Don't go into these other. But so thank God he did. But Ukraine's up against Russia, a country that's 3-4 times the population, has a massive industrial center, certainly compared to Ukraine. Ukraine's mostly an agricultural country. So
That's
I
Randy.
don't understand what the controversy is about because there is none. These are pseudo events. This is an effort by pathetic sites to get clickbaits. Now, let me tell you something. I'll give you an example. The media, 2 stories.
That's what he looks like when he's thinking about cock. He's always thinking about some man's cock.
Same guy.
He was talking about he sees some man's jism that look like tapioca pudding.
Second on American foreign policy. Aren't those headlines contradictory, Mr. Producer? First they say, Mark and others should tell the unvarnished truth about Donald Trump's ghastly attacks on Ukraine. The next story is Mark Levin defies Trump by backing Zelensky and trashing Putin. So which one is it? Which one is it?
It's hot and heavy
I don't know
tonight.
which one it is, because they're stupid. That's why they work at Mediaite. That's why they're aggregators, and that's why they steal content from somebody else, put their own headlines on it, which are so misleading, and do what they do.
It'll be chronicled.
So did Donald Trump call me today about this? Of course not. Did I call him about this today? Of course not. It's a great relationship. Nobody's going to get in between it. They try and create these controversies. My God, there's a split. There's no split. I have my opinion. I voice my opinion. And I'm going to always voice my opinion. And I always have. Even when I was in the Reagan administration, the Justice Department, there were times I personally disagreed with the position of the Reagan administration, and I said so. So what? That's my opinion. I will back up my opinion. I will explain my opinion. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed at all. I have a lot of faith in President Trump that he knows what he's doing. A lot of faith that he knows what he's doing. This is just the first act in a multi-act event. That's what it is. He's not a double talk diplomat. He tells exactly what he's thinking. He's also very strategic about the things he says. Maybe he believes Zelensky's too dug in and he's trying to loosen him up. I have no idea. None. No idea at all. But the facts are the facts about who Putin is, what he is, the people he's murdered people who challenged him in elections, has never had a fair election. He's responsible for 500,000 deaths along with Assad, his buddy, in Syria. And we can go on and on and on. My problem is with the Putinoids in the Republican Party, the Putinoids in the so-called populist movement, the Putinoids in the Marxist Islamist left. My problem is with them. Trump is no Putinoid. That whole Russia collusion thing was always a lie. Trump was tougher on Russia than anybody. That's right. He cut off their gas line to Germany. He put in the toughest sanctions against Putin and his oligarchs. He actually was the first one to give military weapons to Ukraine to help at least deal with Russia should they invade, while Obama was giving blankets. This is his record. He's not a Putinoid. He doesn't suck up to Putin. He's trying to do what he said he wants to do, bring peace to the region. And he'll do it his way. And strategically, he's absolutely brilliant. And I will continue to give my opinion about Putin, about Zelensky, about Ukraine, and about Russia. And the problem with the 9% Putinoids is they don't even want you to have an opinion. You're either in with them or they're coming after you. I'm shaken. I could care less. I could care less 100%. This has nothing to do with people who say, well, he's defying Trump. Trump doesn't roll that way. He's defying Trump. He has different people around him. Many of them give him different opinions quietly and personally. That's what he does. I'm not an advisor unless he asks me a question, which he does from time to time, not on this. And that's the way it is. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing controversial. And Mediaite, you owe me an apology, and Drudge. I don't even think Drudge runs that crap anymore over there at the Drudge Report. I just don't think so. I'll be right back. What?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code MARK now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code MARK. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on.
That's Dwayne.
We had to move out of the house.
A guy who thinks he's Dwayne Allman. Kenny.
He was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage around 2000.
If I'm to believe Rusty, because that's where I got it from. All my information I have is from other people, mostly Rusty. She does all the doxing and her and JC. Yeah, like some of this I got from JC too. Yeah, JC. Know it. Now this was in a stream that I'm not privy to. Wasn't there to see it. Only here to see you guys talk about it.
Meanwhile, on 95 northbound between Quantico and Dumfries, that's disabled.
There it is.
Causing slow traffic. Southbound side is slow between Newington and Woodbridge, and you will find accident activity right now. In Fredericksburg, Fall Hill Avenue is still closed.
Up on Rusty's chat. There it is. There you are, Dwayne. Tell me you didn't have acne. You can see the scars. Look at you. That's why he won't turn his camera on. Look at that fucking schnauzer on him. That was probably taken 10 years ago, if not longer. Look at the frown on the face. Look at this fucker can't grow a beard or anything. Look at him. Mike Harrison's a tile layer, been on his knees more than Keith, but look at this fucker. He sits on a chair on the street corner. There you are, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne, why are you blocking me now? You've been blocking me. Logical hasn't been posting at me, as you know. That shit's all it stopped for some reason. What's up with that? But that's Dwayne Allman. If we're to believe Rusty, because that's where that come from, is her chat. Oh, he was so upset what Rusty said about Wiggin. Oh, no, you got mad because she's going to dox you. She doxed you, tried to get a hold of your workplace. She actually does that shit. Spends her money fucking looking people up out here in these chats. They looked me up. What'd they get? Right? Come deny it. If that's not you, then it's pointless in using it. Right? That's DA. How about it, Gotti? Huh? His nose. What the fuck is it? Looks like he's had a wax job or something. Them fucking lips. Look at that bottom lip stick right out there. That's a fucking natural pout face right there if you ever seen one. This motherfucker ain't got no woman in his life. I bet he doesn't even have an illegitimate kid somewheres in the world. Most of us men do. Yeah, you won't come here, Dwayne. Dwayne doesn't like to be timed out. He got madder than a fucker and he come into Zenny's. He's either there or Wolfie. I timed that fucker out. I did the same thing to you, Wiggin. Timed you out. You fucking cry like a bitch. That's an insult to women because, you know, women have a right to cry. They give birth. Pain we'll never know.
Men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend.
Yeah, JC's live with all her favorites up on her panel. Got her wrenches in the side chat in case she gets attacked. She's the best moderator. He moderated a room with 500 people by herself.
Breaking news. The ambassador to the United States from Israel in just a few minutes.
Wow.
Did you see the video of the men, women, children? Hamas in camouflage as well. Partying, playing music, dancing, laughing. It's the 4 bodies, the dead Israelis, were given to the Red Cross. Did you see that, Mr. Reduce? It was stomach turning. One of the babies, of course, was 10 months old, 9 months old, when they kidnapped the little boy. The other little boy was 2 years old. They murdered them. They murdered the mother. They murdered this old man, the oldest of the hostages. And now there's breaking news from open source intel. IDF, after completing the identification process by the National Center for Forensic Medicine in cooperation with the Israel police, IDF representatives have enforced the Bibas family, that's the mother and the 2 babies that were murdered, that their loved ones, Errol and Kurt Bibas, of blessed memory, have been identified. During the identification process, it was found that the additional body received was not that of their mother, Sherry Bibas. No match was found for any other abductee. It's an anonymous body without identification. So they withheld the mother's body. They broke the ceasefire. There were multiple bomb attempts, terrorist attempts again in Israel on buses today. We're going to discuss that as well with the ambassador from Israel. Hamas needs to be obliterated, and in a very painful way. I'll be right back. Mark Levin here. Folks, I believe every election could have an impact on our financial system, and post-election changes are important to pay attention to. Whether it's when inflation is high, government spending, or changes in tax laws, your investment portfolio can be affected. Your savings, your pension, your salary. That's why I've always relied on gold for diversification and protection. It's been said to be a timeless safeguard against economic uncertainty, and one that I encourage you to educate yourselves about. When it comes to gold, there's only one company I trust, and that's Advantage Gold. They're one of the top gold companies in America, and that's who I turn to. Call 800-900-8000 now for a free gold investment kit to see how you can help protect your hard-earned finances and diversify your portfolio. And when you do, you might even qualify for $1,000 in free silver. That's 800-900-8000. Don't wait. 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary, and you should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Media station, making sense of the news. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. Breaking this hour, a juvenile and 19-year-old are arrested and charged in connection with a fight and shooting at Chase Avenue Urban Park in Bethesda yesterday that prompted the lockdown of nearby Bethesda Chevy Chase High School for hours. The juvenile and 19-year-old Nicholas Blanco of Bethesda both face firearm-related charges. Blanco's also charged with assault and reckless endangerment. Nobody was hit by the gunfire. News of the arrest coming hours after a 16-year-old student at Edison High School in Fairfax County was arrested for allegedly bringing a gun to school. After more than 4 decades in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving Senate party leader in history, is calling it quits. On his 83rd birthday today, he said he will be leaving the Senate when his current term is over in 2027. Traffic and weather next.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app. This is for you. Get the WMAL app on Google Play.
They just keep blocking my handles.
Green light. Hey girl. School. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign.
It's fucking funny.
Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good.
How about it, DA? There, you got helped again.
To concentrate on
Vegas is run by the fucktards in here.
Stop the text. Stop the wrecks. You stop texting and driving.
Yeah.
Tell us to stop texting.
They're sitting there with their moderators and they'll take out your account because then I come back here with it and it shows.
75 years of policy.
75 years of opportunity.
75 years of freedom.
This is 75 years.
Charlie says no one likes Billy. And he's spelling it the way Coffee Man spells it with an I-E. These fuckers think, oh, fuck you, cocksuckers. Come on.
Vince Colonnades, days 3 to 6 p.m.
Bring your army with you. Come on.
Looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that.
There you are, Dwayne.
Vince Colonnades.
That's you right there, pal.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
The ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Welcome to Talkville.
I'm starting to have night sweats.
Ain't nobody here to gang up on you. I'm the only one.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com. Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more. WMAL.com, making sense of your world online.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, man. How can we help?
I think JC's really having a lot of fun streaming.
It's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Man, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're
just hideous watching that chat. Angie.
Invisible online. Introducing Cumulus.
There's something wrong with you, Angie.
Get found, get on the map.
And you know what it is? You're lazy. You're a lazy woman, Angie. No man wants a woman like that. You are lazy, period. That's why your son's not with you, because you are lazy. You got a lot of pride in yourself. You just can't let go. I was reading when I was 2.
The Vince Colonnades Show, weekdays 3 to 6
People like Angie,
on 105.9
they feel like they need to be privileged. Like somebody's holding something back from them. It's pretty sickening.
We're here with Ambassador Leiter, ambassador to the United States from Israel, who himself lost his son tragically in this war. We had him on about a year or so ago. It's a horrible thing. 6 children lost their father. You lost your son. So you know what this is all about personally, Mr. Ambassador. And what's going on with this Hamas and the way they're even releasing these bodies is so disgusting, so barbaric. I'd like you to tell the American people what happened today and how the Israeli people view this.
Well, thank you, Mark. Good evening. Good to be with you.
You too.
Look, we're in a civilizational battle. This isn't a local issue. It's not a regional issue. It's a civilizational issue, and we're at the forefront of this battle against barbarism. What happened today, aside from the fact that 4 people were returned dead after they were taken hostage. By the way, I must reveal to you now, it's just been 10 minutes ago, that the 4th body, who was supposed to be the mother of these 2 babies, fear not, it's not the mother. No, they think they're going to laugh at us to the very moment. They love this body. We have no idea who it is. Not one of the messages. Just to try to degrade and embarrass and poke fun. The same way they had this really horrific, ghoulish celebration as they released the bodies today with marching music. These are very depraved people, and it's very important to understand that there's something called evil. For many years there was an attempt to to moral equivalence, and everything is subjective. And no, there's such a thing as objective evil. I think the Secretary of State today called it pure evil. Hamas is pure evil. But it's just Hamas. You've got the Islamic Jihad there as well. We don't know who is responsible for the second act of depravity today. And by the grace of God, nobody additionally was killed. But we had 3 massive bombs go off at bus depots just south of Tel Aviv. The 4th one didn't explode, but what we did find on the 4th one was a inscription in Arabic, which called for the victory of jihad. So, I mean, we know where it's coming from. So they returned bodies that they had taken hostage, and they tried to kill more people today. And really, by the grace of God, the bombs didn't go off, because had they, they went off, but they went off at the depot. And had they gone off during, prime time, during rush hour, there could have been scores of people killed. Again, this is a fight against barbarity, and we're a resilient people, Mark. We're going to win this.
I think that, at least in the United States, in our government, the tide has turned 100%. That is, even though the prior regime claimed to be supportive of Israel, they withheld weapons, and they limited what you could do with the weapons and so forth and so on. I get a very different sense from the Trump administration, from his Secretary of State, from his National Security Advisor, Defense Department, and all the rest, that they've about had it with these terrorists too, and they're 100% behind Israel. Obviously, there needs to be coordination between allies and so forth, but every time President Trump sees something like this, it absolutely turns his stomach. You get that?
Well, I do. I think it's not just emotional. I think the president is echoing a sense of moral clarity. And when the president speaks of moral clarity, everybody around him, his ministers, his secretaries, the administration speaks of moral clarity. And, it is a stark difference. The music we heard until recently was, more humanitarian aid to Gaza. We were never holding up humanitarian aid. The only thing that was being held up were weapons to Israel that we had paid for. We had a 7-front war. We're still in this battle. And we had an arms embargo we had to deal with. And in this case, the music is very different. This is evil, and Israel has not only the right, but the obligation to defeat its enemies, because these are not just enemies of Israel. These are enemies of Israel and of Western civilization. We're the little Satan. Here in the United States are the big Satan. If we lose, they're coming for you next. So we need to win this battle for Western civilization, and we understand that, and we're poised to do that.
And actually, they did come for us on 9/11, and they're going to come for us again, which is a very important point that you're making. This family, they lose the mother, they lose the 2 little babies. I mean, murdering a 9-month-old, and I believe Eric was 4 years old at the time, these beautiful little boys and the mother, and we remember watching them take them away. You could see the horror on the mother's face, like she knew, oh my God, something horrific is going to happen. I mean, the people in Israel must just be in such, first of all, pain and anger, no?
Well, Mark, the father, Yarden, actually ran out of their home in the kibbutz of Nir Oz to protect his family. And he was snapped. He was taken hostage. And he didn't even know what happened to his wife and the 2 little children. They were taken separately afterwards and held separately. And there's going to be even more disturbing evidence coming out as to just how they were killed and when they were killed. I can't get into it now. But really horrific kind of behavior. It's depraved. And what we're feeling, we're feeling like a people at war. We're battle scarred. This has been a 1.5 years of war. You mentioned my son. I know so many people who, have lost last night, as a matter of fact. There were 12 orphans who lost their fathers and came to visit Washington. And I sat next to an orphan whose father was killed together with my son.
No.
you had 3 generations where, it's my son and his father, and they're killed together. They were the lead team that led the forces into Gaza until October 7th, and they walked into a booby trap at the end of the 2nd week of the war. But what I can tell you is, when I looked out over these 12 orphans, and when each one of them spoke a little bit about their fathers and then about their future, and each one is about 16, 17, and they're talking about the day they're looking forward to enlisting in the IDF, in the Israeli army, to help protect and defend the Jewish people in the state of Israel. And it was with such pride that I heard these young men speaking. So yes, the population is hurting. Everybody has been affected by this war. Everybody knows someone who has lost someone. And then you have to remember all the injured soldiers. We've got over 5,000 seriously injured soldiers. And then we have all the people who have been injured by Palestinian terrorism, which is almost a daily occurrence in Judea and Samaria and elsewhere. And then we've got tens of thousands of people who have been removed from their homes because of the Hezbollah missiles in the north, because of the attack in the south outside of Gaza. And people removed from their homes for a year and a half also have tremendous issues to deal with, tremendous challenges. Many of them cannot go back yet to their homes. So we've got a nation in trauma, but it's also a nation resilient and determined to win this war. We're going to win this war. We're going to come out on top of the war because we understand this is our mission, and not just for ourselves, but really for humanity. It's a civilizational battle for humanity, which we must win. With the help of the United States, with the help of the Trump administration, with the full backing of our closest ally, our big brother, we're going to do this right.
You're listening to Ambassador Leiter, the Israel's ambassador to the United States. Obviously, I'm not going to press you to elaborate. That's not my intention. But you did say that these children were murdered in a horrendous way. Did you say that?
I did. I
don't want to press you.
I believe it couldn't surprise anyone. But we know how. Well, yeah. Look, these people are being kept in underground tunnels. For God's sake, you know, I made the point at a gathering in one of the big temples here in Washington the other night. It was 500 days. They were marking 500 days to the taking of the hostages. You know, in the Ten Commandments, we've got thou shalt not kill. It's actually thou shalt not murder. Because sometimes in war, for example, you have to kill, but thou shalt not murder is the correct translation. And the next commandment is thou shalt not steal. And stealing, rabbis explain to us in that passage, refers to stealing human beings. You don't steal human beings. You don't hold human beings hostage. That's something that is, you know, prehistoric almost. And these people want to take us back in time. A whole, you know, if you go through Jerusalem, we have tunnels too. But these tunnels unearth history, and they take us back to the indigenous nature of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. And they show what it was like at the time of King David and King Solomon. You walk with a tour book, which is really the book, which is the Bible. You don't need to buy a tour book. You just take the Bible, you walk through these tunnels, and yet these people, these Hamas and Islamic Jihad, these operatives of Iran, built tunnels too, but they're to keep people in dungeons down below and to keep missiles that they fire into our civilian population centers. Mark, I'm sure you know this, but the extent of the tunnel, and this was all international funding. They took the money, instead of giving it to poor people who need it for social issues, for health issues, for educational issues, they used it to store missiles and now people. And there's 450 miles of tunnel. I mean, that's the width of the state of Pennsylvania in Gaza itself. And that's what we had to confront. That's what our soldiers, our incredibly brave soldiers, had to confront. They had to fight a war above ground, underground. And I've spoken to many experts who were in Fallujah, in Mosul, and some of the most difficult battles. They said they didn't have to face anything like this. This is just beyond difficult. And we were able to do it with great courage, and while taking care of the civilian population at the same time. You know, we're gonna persist. We're gonna make the case. And now, please God, with the help of the American administration, the Trump administration, President Trump and his cabinet, we're gonna see this thing through to the end. And the end is when the head of the snake, when Iran is denuclearized. Iran is responsible for all of these terror proxies, and if they're allowed to achieve nuclear capabilities, that means that all of their terror proxies will be operating under a nuclear umbrella. This is impossible. This is existential, not only for us, but for Europe and for the United States. We have to make sure that doesn't happen.
We literally have 2 minutes and a hard break means they'll cut us off right in the middle of a sentence. But in 2 minutes' time, tell us about your son that passed away.
Well, my son was killed on November 10th, just before the beginning of the Shabbat. He was 39. He had spent 15 years in special ops in the Air Force. He trained with the Delta Force. He led many operations that were very successful. He was very brave, very courageous. He left 6 children. At the age of 33, he decided to go to med school. And he was supposed to start his rounds in the hospital on October 8th. He was a very loving, kind individual. The reason why he went to med school because he wanted to save lives after having spent so much time in special ops. He's terribly missed. He was my best friend, the oldest of 8 children, but I'm very proud to have had a son as courageous, as beautiful, a human being as anybody could ask for.
And I'm sure he was and will be very proud of his father. Pastor, I want to thank
I
you.
appreciate that, Mark. Thank you.
You become a good friend, a friend of the family, and we very much appreciate you. Ambassador Leiter, give our best to the Prime Minister and all the folks over there.
I will do that. Thank you so much.
God bless you. What a remarkable human being, folks. And Israel's filled with remarkable human beings. I said human beings, civilized human beings. We're up against these subhuman monsters. And I can't imagine what they did to those little babies. But obviously it was something horrific. It's just unspeakable. We'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Some Bellway delays on the inner loop from the Claiborne Parkway to River Road and from 355 over to University Boulevard. In the outer loop, some delays from 66 to the Little River Turnpike. Other delays have eased down. You will still find the disabled vehicle blocking the right lane on northbound 95 between Quantico Triangle and Dumfries Road. Watch for delays from Garrisonville, Aquia, and southbound still slow from the Fairfax County Parkway to the Prince William Parkway. And delays westbound on 66 continue from the Beltway to 123, and more delays heading into Centerville and Manassas. But the earlier debris in the roadway has been cleared. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch Sun forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 21. Tomorrow, sunny, a high near 38.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com. Thank God for that. Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more. WMAL.com, making sense of your world online. Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in the story, isn't there?
Every day. Why are we the only ones reporting this? News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
Oh, I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race off for a spin.
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. Message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite show, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archive, all with the new WMAL app. This is for you. Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
My biggest fear wasn't death. My biggest fear was nobody will remember me.
That motivates a lot of people. Just
feel invincible. They were all convinced, I think, that they were about to die. This rush of stress comes over me because now it's so time.
all of a sudden I'm saying, what is really important?
Let us reveal the truth of ourselves.
That's it. The Sean Ryan Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their back in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of sin. Then, sudden infant death syndrome.
Yes, I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here.
Hey, Uncle, you need responsibility. For more information, visit safetosleep.nicahc.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Schreiber National Institute of Health and Human Development.
There's no method to improving your credit, but there is help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org. That's creditfairy.org. Brought to you by the Consumer Bankers Foundation, the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights Education Fund, and the Ad Council.
When you're hot, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive hot. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
America's greatness is being restored, and there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbee, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV, or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Listening here, making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of social media, because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
The President back to the United States has told us that babies who were killed in horrible ways, and he wasn't free to discuss it. It'll come out eventually, he said. And we've also learned today that 20 minutes ago, the mother of those two babies, her body said to be turned over to the Israelis, was not turned over to the Israelis. It was somebody else's body, but not one of the hostages. At the same time, almost simultaneously, while this was going on, there were bombs planted on, I think it was 5 buses, a few of which blew up, but they blew up in that depot, and a couple that didn't blow up. And so this is what our Israeli brothers and sisters are facing. This is what they're facing. And I certainly hope, given what the ambassador said in this program, that the Drudge Report will actually report some news, that Media Eye will actually report some news. Stop playing games. Those two babies were murdered in horrendous ways, and at some point we're going to learn about it. And that their mother's body was not returned. And keep something in mind, in exchange for these bodies, including an old man who I think was 85 or 86 years old, the oldest hostage was also murdered. And his body was traded for what? A couple hundred military-age terrorists who were let out of prison. So murdered babies in horrendous ways, a murdered old man, a murdered mother whose body wasn't returned in exchange for military-age terrorists who were convicted of crimes, including crimes against humanity. I don't want to hear anything more about any more ceasefires, and I don't want to hear anything more about a two-state solution. What kind of crap is this? You're dealing with barbarians, subhuman pieces of crap. That's enough already. They didn't kill these people because they were Israelis. They killed them because they were Jews. It's that simple. It's not about land. It's not about geography. It never has been and it never will be. What do you think the river to the sea means? They will not leave these people alone. They will not leave them alone. Some of our friends might call this a forever war. How do you end this forever war? You give up? You retrench? You isolate? Well, the enemy doesn't wait. They don't give a damn what you do. They're on offense, always. It's a lesson to be learned by we, the people here in the United States of America. It's just horrendous. What they do to babies and women and all the rest of it, it's sick. I don't even think the Vikings did this, Mr. Producer. I don't think the barbarians that destroyed the Roman Empire did anything like this. I don't think. Just Hitler. Hitler's the only one. They love Hitler. We won a majority victory in November, getting America back on the right track. You did this. Thank God for you. You know how you celebrate that victory? By flying your American flag that's made in America, not China or somewhere else. Folks, if there's one thing you own that should be made in America, quality, beautiful, it's your American flag that you hang with pride outside your home. In fact, it should be a flag from Allegiance Flag Supply. And I want to discuss this further because I love this sponsor. I love their product. After the top of the hour, I'll be right back.
Yeah, DA, you better hope you weren't fucking logging in time you didn't work. They're fucking auditing the United States Postal Service. Yeah.
Every 15 seconds.
I mean, you've heard about all these government workers sitting at home and getting paid, not going into the office and all that. They're all, the Democrats are all up in arms. Oh, Trump is taking away people's jobs, federal jobs. I can talk about it because I was a federal worker for the longest time. That's why I get what I get. Fuck you guys. You know fucking shit about me.
We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby.
Daisy says no talking politics, but there she lets Rum up there, not Rum, but Vanguard with the effigy of Trump in a diaper, because that's how they are over there in England, the protesters in England. She fucking harbors all them protesters in her fucking chat.
Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real
She's crying about me. Disgusting me eating my sandwich up here. Oh, he eats with his mouth open. People do. I mean, I try to keep it shut. You know what I mean? But you fucking how many times has that idiot LD Live been? He come up on panel, he's sitting in his car eating fast food. That fucker's always eating on camera. Fuck, you guys like watching him piss on a woman's jacket. Is that disgusting, JC? How come you don't say anything to LD about pissing on that woman's jacket? Why did he have to do that? Kind of spiteful. Just a little bit. And at least Rusty's not pissing on some guy's jacket or some shit. Wiggin protecting his harem. You guys didn't know it all this time. JC is Wiggins' girl. That's his bread and butter right there.
The judge said the unions need to file the lawsuit with the Federal Labor Relations Authority.
Otherwise, he has no content. Because he himself is not all that interesting. Nobody wants to hear him fucking talk about the Bible where the Pope or somebody back in the fucking Dark Ages, they're the ones that wrote that or whatever. Fucking out there. Wiggin, you have a perverted interpretation of the Bible. You really do.
Defending the cuts.
I think our objective is to make sure that the employees that we pay are being productive and effective, and there are many more than 3,000 people working there.
And right now, Charlie's mad because I fucking cloned his avatar, so he'll be changing it, or so he says.
Another act of plain corruption designated to benefit Musk, Trump, and their wealthy friends, unquote. He adds that the firings will make it easier for wealthy tax cheats to avoid paying their fair share because they appear to particularly target tax enforcement on the wealthy. Never forget, that's what everyone said after 9/11, but a bipartisan group of New York lawmakers say first responders are being forgotten. DOJ cut CDC workers with the World Trade Center Health Program, which oversees aid to those sickened by exposure to toxins at Ground Zero.
In a letter, 7 congressional Republicans from New York urged President Trump to reverse the cuts and rehire staff, echoing a letter sent last week to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. by the state's 2 Democratic senators. The cuts include research grants to determine if new health conditions are related to service at Ground Zero on
These fuckers think I block them.
J. Powers, Fox News.
Sofa King.
House in D.C. is found guilty on 2 counts of second-degree murder after an adult and 10-year-old died when they got trapped in the burning building. James Walker was also found guilty of 27 criminal building code violations related to fire safety, including not having smoke detectors or ways for people to escape a fire. Police told him he needed to fix those violations in March of 2019. He didn't. 5 months later, a fire started in the basement of Kennedy Street Northwest building. 40-year-old Hitsam Kabedi and 10-year-old Yankai Solomon were trapped and died from burns and smoke inhalation. Maryland's last weekly unemployment benefit bump was 15 years ago. Is it time
Check
for
my
another?
batteries. I better go plug this one in.
Delegate Lord Jarkonian's legislation passes in the face of massive federal worker layoffs. She wants the current benefit, $430 a week, increased to $750.
Unemployment insurance is funded by what's called the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund.
It's covered by payroll tax and the initial $8,500 earned. And as she tells 7 News,
Also was set in 1992 and has not been updated.
it's less than DC 444 and more than Virginia's $378 per week. The bill moves on to the House next week. Then on WMAL and WMAL.com.
And weather next.
This podcast is sponsored by Laurel Road. At Bigger Pockets, we're always trying to find ways to help you maximize your money, which is why you should check
I gotta get something to drink.
loan refinancing, tailored savings accounts, and more. And right now, for a limited time, Laurel Road's high yield savings account offers an annual percentage yield greater than 4%. That is up to 10 times the national savings rates. Plus, it features 0 monthly service fees, no minimum balance requirement, and costs $0 to open. So visit laurelroad.com/pockets to learn. Laurel Road, your partner on the road to financial peace of mind. Equal housing lender, member PS.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. Don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Don Jr. here, guys. Are you receiving letters from the IRS claiming you owe back taxes? As penalties and interest fees pile up, the IRS gives you no clear path to resolution. Don't speak to them on your own. They are not your friends. To reach a team of licensed tax professionals that can help you reduce, settle, and resolve your tax matters, go to tnusa.com and check them out.
Solve your tax problems today. Call 1-800-278-9000. That's 1-800-278-9000.
Here's Michelle Murray, Hurricane Traffic Center.
395 southbound at Washington Boulevard, accident activity now being moved to the right shoulder. Northbound side still heavy from Boundary Channel to the 14th Street Bridge, and you will still find delays on the freeway between the 14th Street Bridge and the 3rd Street Tunnel. Northbound 95 between Quantico Triangle and Dumfries Road, a disabled still blocks the right lane, and traffic is jammed from Garrison to La Quaya. Southbound 95 is slow from Lorton heading to the Prince William Parkway. In Temple Hills, a problem now on Branch Avenue at Iverson Street with fallen wires reported in the roadway. Southbound on Branch Avenue at Allentown Road, an accident reported, and in Upper Marlboro, there was a crash on northbound Pennsylvania Avenue at Old Crane Highway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Remaining cold and still pretty windy for your evening through Friday morning rush. Temperatures 22 to 27 degrees, and then high temperatures tomorrow anywhere between 34 and 40 degrees under sunshine. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Now 24 degrees in Tysons, 26 in Bladensburg, and 27 degrees under mostly cloudy skies here in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
5.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin. In the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we
once again makes contact with an elite on the van.
Welcome back, America. It was rudely interrupted by the top of the hour break. We won a major victory in November. You did it. You, the people, getting America back on the right track. And you know how you celebrate that victory? Fly the American flag. Fly the American flag that's made in America, not in communist China or somewhere else. A quality flag. With quality cloth, quality wood and metal. How do I know? Because I had my allegiance flag and it's flying on the side of my home. If there's one thing you own that should be made in America, it's your American flag that you hang with pride outside your house. In fact, it should be a flag from Allegiance Flag Supply. This is an incredibly patriotic company. It's hand-sewn in Charleston, South Carolina, hand-sewn by dedicated craftsmen and women who put care in every stitch. And so it's a flag that lasts. And they believe in what that flag stands for. These are patriots. I love my Allegiance flag that they sent me. And let me tell you, it's a real showstopper. It really is. You can see the difference. You can feel the difference. Even the hardware, we're putting it on the side of your home. It's top quality, the highest quality American flag, period. One you could be proud to see when you come home after a long day of work, or the perfect gift for a patriot in your life. And right now, when you go to showallegiance.com, showallegiance.com, Allegiance Flag Supply will give you $35 off your complete flag set. And you're going to see the quality of the hardware, the quality of the material that's used, made right here in America. Again, go to showallegiance.com, showallegiance.com for American flags made by Americans for Americans. It really is a absolutely fantastic product. Again, we want to congratulate Kash Patel, our new FBI director. He's going to do a fantastic job. Fantastic job. And he's under attack already, and he hasn't even gone into the FBI office yet. Just constant attacks. You had this guy, Sheldon Whitehouse, who's a complete jackass, who belonged for the longest time to a country club that was whites only. Believe that? You got Richard Blumenthal, as Trump calls him, Denang Dick, because he claimed to have served in Vietnam and he never did. Then you have Chris Coons, the little bobblehead from Delaware, who was basically a puppet for Biden. And they all showed up in front of the FBI building today to warn us about Kash Patel. Here's Sheldon Whitehouse on the Constipated News Network today. Cut one, go.
Well, the first thing it'll mean is that Republican senators who voted for him will own it.
Sheldon Whitehouse. He's been there a long time.
As his past shows he will be, if he has the foreign entanglements that his records show he has, and that comes back to haunt them, they will have known this. This will have been on the record. He is a very dangerous.
How about he was a defense attorney? He was a prosecutor.
Hi, Andy.
Capitol Hill staffer. To Devin Nunes, a very good one. He was an assistant to the acting Secretary of Defense. He was also involved in a number of surreptitious operations on behalf of the United States government. How come he fails to mention all those things? They just smear, smear, and smear again. That's all they do. And he barely got through, 51-49. I know Susan Collins voted against him. Probably, I have to check it, so I might be wrong. Probably Murkowski. Will you double check that, Mr. Producer? So then we have Denang Dick Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut.
This guy.
The only question is whether my Republican colleagues will do the right thing. And let me say to...
It's funny how always doing the right thing is...
This guy sounds like he's been up on JC's panel.
Shooting your own people politically in the back. They support every kind of reprobate for any position whatsoever, including President of the United States, Vice President of the United States. No problem. No problem. But look how they turn Patel. Look what they try to turn him into. Go ahead.
Who may vote for Kash Patel. This vote will haunt you. you will be held.
Vote will haunt you. That's how they talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they were haunted. We're so
Billy,
scared.
you
Cash
spam
Patel-
too
and
much.
when
Billy,
Cash Patel turns
stop
out to be a
your
great FBI
cloning.
director, nobody will go back and make these clowns eat their words, will they?
Fuck you,
No,
JC, and fuck you, Wiggin.
Then there's guy Chris Coons, so they always dig up and
Both of
throw out
you.
there.
I fucking grab you by the head
Yeah,
and just
they're
smash
outside
your
the
heads
FBI
together.
Headquarters building today. Cut 3, go. Bureau needs and deserves a politically independent
Figure
and capable
speech.
leader to stand up for the brave men and women of
Richard
federal law enforcement.
Blumenthal.
And after
Thank
you, sit down.
Oh, that fucking hurts the
It was
ears.
like Murkowski and Collins, the Bopsy twins, voted against Cash Patel. Of course. Then we have Representative Madeline Dean. Who's that? Nobody knows and nobody cares, but there she is on MSLSD. That's all they could find.
They're
looking for Chris Murphy. who's
NBC.
available. They're looking for
They
none of
are
the other
tripping over it.
reprobates.
You think
They weren't available.
Think Al Sharpton's ever snorted a line of coke?
They couldn't find Raskin, Sanders, so they found Madeline Dean. Cut 4, go.
Do you know what Cash Patel called the January 6 rioters? Political prisoners.
Well, he was right. Most of them were political prisoners. Most of them.
I hope you're listening, Chrissy Britt. There,
Yeah, your buddy
Sebastian's
Bob,
girlfriend,
the
you
guy who was
goofy
convicted of
fuck.
murdering FBI agents. Are you aware of that?
What a goofy
Did you
person
criticize
that
that,
Chrissy
Madeline
Britt is.
That's pretty.
Chrissy
heavy,
loves
isn't it?
Britney. Oh, Britney Spears.
Sworn his retribution, and he has
Yeah, how you like that?
over and over again against. Let me see here. He wants to come after any anti-Trump conspiracy.
That's amazing, folks. They keep talking about what our people are going to do.
So
They're
it's
not
just a
talking about what they're
conspiracy that we think
addicted.
there's
When they
anti-Trumpers
went
out
after
there.
Trump with lawfare, when they went after the people around Trump with lawfare, they did do these things. And they're warning us that we might do these things. It's just grotesque. Go ahead.
I suppose that might even include me, since I served on the
It won't
second.
include you. Nobody knows who the hell you are. That I can promise you. Go ahead.
As one of the managers, a sad, solemn honor that I had.
What the hell is she talking about? One of the managers of the second impeachment, I guess. It was sad and it was solemn. Are you kidding? It was giddy. They were giddy about it. Nothing sad and solemn about what they did. It was a hit job. I might remind everybody in the first impeachment, and I quoted this gentleman repeatedly, it was Zelensky who said that phone call was not a pressure. He didn't take it as pressure. And yet they kept twisting that phone call. And Zelensky defended President Trump. Remember that, Mr. Producer? All right, let's see here. We have, just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. Let's see. President Trump's plan to evacuate Gaza. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Our friend David Friedman, former ambassador to the State of Israel. It looks more brilliant by the day. It's the only solution there is. That's it. President Trump's plan to evacuate Gaza looks more brilliant with each passing day, and never more so than today. Gaza showed its true colors today, and they are dark and ugly. Parading around the bodies of innocent Jewish children to the cheers of living Gazan children is a new low in the annals of history.
There's Patrick. Patrick Rowe. I don't have it turned up,
The
though.
last 500 days trying to help these poor hostages, even the hostages who had dedicated their lives to improving Palestinian life, not a single one. He says, the hell with them all. Disperse them all from the apocalypse that they alone have created and start again with different people with different values. People have had it. They've absolutely had enough. And now we know that the body of the mother wasn't the body of the mother. And they had all these bombs going off. Now they count 6. A couple went off in these buses, but they were still in the depot. Others were found they hadn't gone off. They were planning a massive terrorist attack right in the heart of Israel today, while they were celebrating the murder, apparently the horrendous murder of these babies. I'll be right back.
What? I was going to say something. I forgot.
WMAL, taking
News.
Andy. Oh, now I
Are you
remember.
receiving letters from the IRS claiming you owe back taxes? As penalties and interest fees pile up, the IRS gives you no clear path. Solution. Don't
Relentless and Rum is Back are teaming up. Yeah. Relentless is making an alliance with Rum. I wonder how I got a feeling they actually known each other a long time. That's what I'm being talked about in Vegas. Hot Gulfster won. That Venice Beach chat sucks. How can there be 800 people in there? I go there and I look and there's fucking 5 participating. That's fucking weird.
Set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1 pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even
Andy, Patrick Rowe posted that my ass is his. They should try to go up on JC's panel right now. What do you think would happen? I was there the other night when she complained about that. She complained about me eating that. It looks gross or whatever, me eating, but he sits there and enjoys Fire and Alvaro talk about her pussy. You imagine talking dirty like that with a woman you never even seen? You don't even know what she looks like. My heart just isn't into it. I just can't do it. My hypocrisy only goes so far. Now, this is coming from a woman who would claim that I'm mad because she turned me down for a date. I asked her to go to the casino. Hi, JC. JC, you're not really brave enough. The only time you've ever come up on my panel is when there's other people up here talking about you. You never give me common courtesy to come up. Well, you don't do it on yours, except with what you demand. You want to sit there and lecture me, JC? I'm gross. I'm not the one who lied to Eraser Rain and said that I'm a widow. You told that woman you're a widow. I have a pretty good feeling you really didn't know who that person was until they all met. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. If I am, I'll admit it. JC, you were always sitting on your panel and participating on other platforms. You in Discord with what's his name there, D-Highs. I couldn't remember his name the other night. Been so long. And fucker sit there and his fucking eyes weren't even open. Fucking black rings around his eyes. He's drinking Everclear. 160 proof fucking liquor. Yeah, Patrick keeps posting shit in my fucking. He goes, I'll never click on your links, Patrick. That fucker is so bored. See, that's what I did that in Facebook, but I didn't. I was on Al Sharpton's page doing that shit. I wasn't doing that to follow Facebook people. Yeah, you can stream StreamYard on Facebook. Yeah, I could go to Facebook and stream if I wanted to, and I know how to do it.
Company with Larry O'Connor, weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on WMAL.
Zeldin.
Prior administration that were being pushed out the door. So we'll have him in hour 3. And again, a reminder, we're on many platforms, terrestrial radio, satellite radio. We are on live streams, Mark Levin app, iHeart Radio app. We're on YouTube. We have a podcast platform. You can find all my full podcast, radio programs, interviews, and specials on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com at Mark Levin Show or search Mark Levin Show in YouTube. You can also go to marklevinshow.com. That's the mothership. Click on the audio rewind at the top and pick your favorite podcast platform, or go to your favorite podcast platform and just search Mark Levin Show. You know, it's almost hard to miss us. It's almost, if you're looking, you can't help but find us. And I appreciate that. Over at Breitbart, Doge, Fed spent $40 billion. Oh my God, you know, it never ends. Their findings are incredible. Fed spent $40 billion on 4.6 million credit cards in FY 2024. You hear this? The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is working to simplify the federal government's credit card program, which spent nearly $40 billion in fiscal year 2024, announcing that they will report back in 1 week if they're working to reduce administrative costs. Don't they deserve a standing ovation for these things? The U.S. government currently has about 4.6 billion active credit card accounts, which spent $39.7 billion in more than 90 million transactions in the last fiscal year, DOGE reported yesterday. U.S. government currently has, let's see, I already read that. Down here, DOGE is working with the agencies to simplify the program, reduce administrative costs. We will report back in 1 week, the department led by tech mogul Elon Musk said on X. The General Services Administration Smart Pay credit system has seen a multi-billion-dollar rise in the total amount of money spent on the cards, as well as dramatic surge in the total number of transactions.
Nobody wants an Obama library.
Reports show.
Nobody cares.
The FY 2022 total spent was
he'll never get a library.
$32.8 billion. Good God. Displaying a nearly $7 billion jump in just 2 years. You know, several millions of people have been having a party on our dime, whether it's credit cards or whether it's waste, fraud, abuse. They've been having a hell of a good time, haven't they? The FY 2022 figure was spent in just about 78.5 million transactions compared to the more than 90 million transactions FY 2024. GSA SmartPay provides payment solution services to more than 250 federal agencies and organizations, Native American tribal governments, says the program's website. Among the top spenders are the U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Recent DoD Inspector General report published last month revealed the military's government travel charge card, a program, did not effectively follow protocol to identify misuse, abuse, or potential fraud. We're finding this everywhere, aren't we? Social Security, the Treasury Department. The audit found that a staggering 12% of credit card purchases on government-issued cards may have violated the Pentagon's spending policies in 2023, finding at least 11,000 transactions totaling more than $500,000 made at casino ATMs, mobile application stores, bars, nightclubs during holidays, and sporting events. Thank God for these people. So the government travel card program is compliant with regulations, and the DoD implements an effective oversight process. There will be missed opportunities to identify and mitigate misuse, abuse, and potential fraud, said former DoD Inspector General Robert Storch. Robert Storch. Wasn't there an actor named Storch? I think he was, an F-Troop. Anyway, who was fired by President Donald Trump days later. The DoD must take steps to ensure adherence to internal controls to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars. Again, these aren't one-offs. This is happening everywhere. Billions and I mean, I wonder how much they've saved us so far. Trump and his folks. A tremendous amount. A tremendous amount. Trump signs executive order cutting off all taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal immigrants. Just a lot of common sense. New York Post, Trump signed an executive order barring illegal immigrants from receiving federally funded benefits. He said, my administration will uphold the rule of law defend against the waste of hard-earned taxpayer resources, protect benefits for American citizens in need, including individuals with disabilities and veterans. The President noted that the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act, that's a mouthful, of 1996 ostensibly prohibits illegal immigrants from obtaining most taxpayer-funded benefits. But he argued that in the decades since its passage, numerous administrations have acted to undermine the principles and limitations directed by Congress. That's for sure. Trump claimed that the Biden regime repeatedly undercut the goals of the law, resulting in the improper expenditure of significant taxpayer resources. As a result, taxpayer resources have acted as a magnet for migrants, he pointed out, fueling illegal immigration to the United States. Trump's order directs the head of every federal agency to identify all federally funded programs administered by the agency that currently permit illegal aliens to obtain any cash or non-cash public benefit. Take all appropriate actions to align such programs with federal law. He ordered government officials to ensure, consistent with applicable law, that federal payments to states and localities do not, by design or effect, facilitate the subsidization or promotion of illegal immigration or abet so-called sanctuary policies that seek to shield illegal aliens from deportation. This is great. Trump's executive order, writes the New York Post, also asked federal agencies to enhance eligibility verification systems to the maximum extent possible in an effort to exclude illegal immigrants from taxpayer-funded benefits. He tasked the DOGE group, led by Elon Musk, with identifying all other sources of federal funding for illegal aliens and recommending additional agency actions to allow. You know what's amazing? All the money and programs that are set up for illegal aliens, it's stunning. The order demands that agencies refer any improper benefits going to illegal immigrants to the Department of Justice and Homeland Security for appropriate action. And this is part of the administration's all-of-government crackdown on illegal immigration. It's amazing. It's amazing what's been taking place. It's amazing how wonderfully and quickly this administration is taking action. I'll be right back. Are you looking for a voice that truly represents your values? AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, was created to champion the needs of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. Members gain access to incredible member benefits and discounts, including the award-winning AMAC magazine, from exclusive discounts on travel, insurance, everyday services, to a strong voice in Washington. The Association of Mature American Citizens is here to make a difference in your life and in our nation. Anybody at any age can join. In honor of President Trump's first 100 days in office, AMAC is offering an incredible deal. Incredible. Enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Normally it's $60. Join today. It's $32. Visit amac.us/LEVIN. That's amac.us/Levin. Join today. Take advantage of this special offer. That's amac.us/Levin. Join AMAC and become part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future.
In Virginia on the Beltway, great news. Look at the cameras in the loop and now look clear. Now to 95 from the Beltway to Fredericksburg. Southbound, you'll find it slow in Lorton between the Lorton exit and Prince William Parkway. Northbound side of 95, there is a disabled vehicle. The right lane is blocked between 619 and Dumfries Road. In D.C., the Anacostia Freeway northbound is stop and go from Pennsylvania Avenue to East Capitol Street. And northbound 395 is slow from Ohio Drive to Main Avenue. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 21. Tomorrow, sunny, a high near 38.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at NissanUSA.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
LifeLock, during tax season, your sensitive info does a lot of traveling to places you can't control, stopping off at payroll, your accountant or a tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info in your W-2. Just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. I had my identity stolen. It was horrible. I got LifeLock. I've been a customer ever since. I've never, ever had that problem again. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock today. Don't get your identity stolen. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 million protection package. Restoration's guaranteed or your money back. Don't mess around with this stuff. I dealt with this for a long time before I had LifeLock. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now. Save up to 40% for your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock. Use promo code Bongino.
Mina would be the first one coming up here telling me I'm full of shit. There's a reason why she doesn't do that, because she knows I'm not full of shit. I'm full of something else. Full of vim and vigor. She knows it. Will Durant, I don't offer advice, but I'm going to give you some advice. You get what you give. Now, I'm old enough to be your father, so that means I'm your mother's age. Might have been in Florida. I mean, I was in Florida at one time in my life. In summer of 1990 through the summer of 91, I was back and forth in Florida quite a bit. Might have did your mother. I was riding around on a Harley at the time. The old lady left, so I bought a Harley. I was almost ready to buy one anyways. Girl I was married to never worked. I paid for everything. The way it should be. Man should take care of his woman. I loved her. She left. Wiggin demanded a picture of my ex-wife because I said she looks like Gina Lola Brigida. And in fact, she does look like Gina Lola Brigida. Let's see if I can see if it's even on here. If I can even remember how to spell the last name. And it's true. She, in the face, she looked like that woman right there. That's what in the face, that's what my ex, and she wasn't fat. She was nice looking. Okay, but she didn't look exactly like her, but there's a resemblance. The eyes, the eyebrows. Ex-wife didn't wear a lot of makeup. She put some to cover up her blemishes if she had one. But that's what she looked like. I'm not kidding. Fuck you, Wiggin. Oh, it's trying to look like whoever you said. I forget. Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know who the fuck you said.
Despite the fact that it was founded months earlier in late 2023, never managed anywhere near the grants dollar figure. It reported just $100 in total revenue during its first 3 months in operation, according to the latest tax filings. This Stacey Abrams Link Group Powered Forward Communities.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams. We all know who that is, right?
Reduction Fund
That
grant.
crybaby in
that
Georgia.
The EPA doled out in April 2024, and that all
Black woman.
totaled $20 billion. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin announced that his staff, the Department of Government officials, had discovered this. The revelation that Power Forward Communities is among the beneficiaries of the funds Zeldin's team located raises ethics questions about how the Biden administration selected recipients of such massive grants, whether it played favorites when doling those grants out. Yes, I imagine it did. I mean, they had $100, they had no real experience, and then they get $2 billion, Mr. Producer. This is insanity. Of course, Abrams was a vocal proponent of the Biden administration's green energy agenda and campaigned for former Vice President Kamala Harris. It also appears to violate concerns expressed for years by Republicans. The Biden regime allies would prop up organizations that were specifically designed to receive federal funding under programs like the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, which was created to operate as a green bank for Democrats' behemoth Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. That bill was so massive and so unnecessary. It was a slush fund, $2 trillion that they threw in every direction. This whole climate change thing is a scam. It's a scam to enrich the left. I made a commitment to members of Congress and to the American people to be a good steward of tax dollars, and I've wasted no time in keeping my word, Zeldin told the Washington Free Beacon. And as we continue to learn more about where some of this money went, it's even more apparent how far-reaching and widely accepted this waste and abuse has been, said the EPA administrator. It's extremely concerning that an organization that reported just $100 in revenue in 2023 was selected to receive $2 billion. That's 20 million times the organization's reported revenue. Holy mackerel. Power Forward Communities and Abrams did not respond to requests for comment. None of this would be uncovered but for the election of Donald Trump, by the way. Power Forward Communities was established in October 2023 as a coalition of groups led by Rewriting America, a left-wing group that advocates for electrification. I could say this, my mouth broke. Electrification policies and a transition away from fossil fuel dependencies. Oh, yeah, right, $2 billion. $2 billion. According to its website, Powered Forward Communities is the first nationwide program to finance home energy efficiency upgrades at scale. They had $100. What are you talking about? The group states that its mission is to assist homeowners, developers, and renters with home upgrades, replacing gas-powered appliances like a traditional stovetop with electric appliances like an induction stovetop. And it's only press release to date. Very busy, doing nothing. Power Forward Community said that in addition to induction stoves, it will use the $2 billion received from the EPA to help install heat pumps, heat pump water heaters, solar panels, home battery systems, EV chargers, and weatherization upgrades. Daniel Turney, Executive Director of Energy Advocacy Group Power the Future, told the Free Beacon, for an organization that has no experience in any of this, that was literally just established and had $100 in the bank to receive $2 billion grant. It doesn't just fly in the face of common sense, it's out and out fraud. There needs to be a criminal investigation here. There needs to be a criminal investigation. The Southern Economic Advancement Project, which seeks to boost racial equity and economic power in the South, is a fiscally sponsored project. The Tide Center, a group known for giving millions of dollars to left-wing environmental and social activist groups, to another group founded by Abrams in the wake of the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial election defeat.
That's what I see.
Power Forward Communities list of partners also include the American Federation of Teachers, the AFL-CIO, two powerful Democrat-aligned labor unions, American Federation of Teachers President Randy Weingarten and Abrams, both serve on the National Advisory Board for Climate Power. It's such a scam. Notice only Democrats benefit from that, and they get rich from this. Rich. Shortly before leaving office, Biden's EPA parked the $20 billion located by Zeldin's team and Doge officials in an account at Citibank. Don't people need to go to prison for this, Mr. Badis? Don't they need to go to prison for this? I mean, this just has to be not just discovered, not just fixed, but people need to pay a price for this, in my humble opinion. Now, over at the Internal Revenue Service, of course, they were hiring tens of thousands of people under Biden. President's taking action there too immediately. More than 6,000 IRS workers are to be laid off before the end of the week. This is all just today. This is all just today for the last 48 hours. At least 6,000 federal employees of the Internal Revenue Service, Breitbart posts the UPI story, were expected to receive termination notices by the end of Friday. That's tomorrow, just ahead of the peak March-April tax filing season. That was leaked, an email leaked by IRS managers to UPI. Most of the cuts will fall on temporary workers and those still on probation, newer hires with less than 12 months of service or under 2 years, depending on their role. The New York Times, CBS News, and Politico reported. So again, this is the low-hanging fruit. And they haven't even gotten to the rest of their fruit. At some point, they will. I mean, they are working at laser speed here. The small business, self-employed, large business, and internal divisions will be most affected with more than 3,500 employees, about 3.5% of the agency's total staff expected to receive termination. Well, they're either newbies or part-time employees or they're on probation, so it's not like they're essential. And of course, former agencies officials and the Democrats warned and warned and they warned and they warned and they warned and they warned some more. As the country would be going bankrupt right under our eyes if it wasn't for this election. How important was this election? You know what? This election we always knew was important, but it's actually more important than we actually knew. We said we need to save the republic, but look at this. We've never seen anything like this. At least I don't think we have. So we have $40 billion and 4.6 million credit cards. All kinds of money being spent for all kinds of reasons. Not even carefully monitored. They don't know how to carefully monitor it. We have $2 billion going to a Stacey Abrams aligned group that before that had $100. I mean, look at this. President has signed an executive order. He said, that's enough. Illegal aliens don't get anything. Amen. Signed an executive order to get rid of 6,000 of these people out of the IRS. Amen. Amen. Very important. And this stuff just keeps showing up. There's more and more and more. You know, wait until they finish going through the bigger departments. I mean, the Pentagon's the biggest of them all, and I'm a big supporter of the Pentagon, but I'm certainly not a supporter of fraud, waste, and abuse. And a lot of those credit cards involve the Pentagon. History, economics, the great works of literature. Did you study these things in school? Even if you did, maybe it's time for a refresher. Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses, including their newest course on total today, and I think Mike Waltz hit it on the head at the White House today. Cut 16, go.
His goal, Peter, is to bring this war to an end, period. And there has been ongoing fighting on both sides. It is World War I style trench warfare. His frustration with President Zelensky is that you've heard is multifold. One, there needs to be a deep appreciation for what the American people, what the American taxpayer, what President Trump did in his first term, and what we've done since. So some of the rhetoric coming out of Kyiv, frankly, and insults to President Trump were unacceptable, number one. Number two, our own Secretary of Treasury personally made the trip to offer the Ukrainians what can only be described as a historic opportunity. That is for America to co-invest with Ukraine in their minerals, in their resources, to truly grow the pie.
And you know why that makes a lot of sense to me? And a lot of sense to me. Think about it. War-torn Ukraine makes a deal with the United States. The United States gets a piece of the action, and Ukraine gets a piece of the action in the development of their minerals and their economy. And so we, the United States, our companies, our businesses are invested in Ukraine, right, Mr. Baduz? To the extent they aren't today. Not only is that an economic shot in the arm for Ukraine that needs an economic shot in the arm, this is one thing I don't understand. But we're going to be more likely to want to preserve our industries and our businesses in Ukraine. That is, you're going to have a presence of American businesses to a greater extent than ever before in Ukraine. So if Zelensky's thinking this through, and as people are thinking this through, this to me was an opportunity that they need to rethink. That they need to rethink. Not only would help America, because we need access to these minerals, and we've invested a lot in helping Ukraine, that's 100% true, but it would help Ukraine. Sort of a quasi-Marshall Plan, but better than a Marshall Plan for both countries. So I think Waltz is a very honest, straight shooter. I know him to be that. And he was an honest, straight shooter here. And he said, here's part of the problem. That is a problem. And of course, Putin's a problem. He's a killer. He's a madman. He's evil. But having said all that, I hope this isn't a missed opportunity. I think Zelensky should circle back, and rumors are he may well circle back. Because, look, when Donald Trump makes an offer or he says something, that is, he's a deal maker. That's the first chip that's thrown on the table. This is why what Mediaite do and Drudge do, it's a great disservice to this audience and all audiences. Because I support Donald Trump, and I know in the end he will make a good peace deal. But I reject Putin as anything but what he is. Now, it's not mutually exclusive. If there's going to be a peace deal, it's going to be Donald Trump that makes the peace deal. And he's not going to sell out an ally. I can't think of any ally he has sold out. Can you? So this defying Donald Trump never happened, and it won't happen. It's not a matter of defiance. There's no defiance. It's just a weird word. It's a weird approach to this. It's intended to create controversy and intrigue where there is no controversy and intrigue, period. But Mike Waltz hit it on the head. And that's an opportunity that Zelensky should slow down, take a look at, because I think it would help Ukraine a lot, and it would certainly help our businesses too. And I don't even know if Putin would like it. You think Putin would like our businesses investing in Ukraine and helping them mine these minerals and helping provide those minerals to us? I don't think Putin would like that at all. But whether he likes it all or not, the reason he wouldn't like it is because it enhances our ability to use these minerals, and it enhances Ukraine's economy. So I actually think it was an opportunity missed by Zelensky, and I think he should watch his rhetoric, don't trash mouth our president, and circle back. That's what I think he should do. I think Waltz was right. And as I say, I think so far it's an opportunity missed, but I have a feeling that in the end, it'll be an opportunity embraced. Senator Mitch McConnell announced on the floor of the Senate today that he's not going to seek re-election, Mr. Producer. And honestly, I didn't think he would. First of all, to be, fair about it, he's not healthy. He's just not healthy, and he shouldn't run again. Dianne Feinstein ran when she shouldn't have run, and you have these other people. Robert Byrd did the same thing. They basically wound up dying in office. And Thad Cochran from Mississippi, at advanced stage, as I understand it, of dementia. These are sad situations. That's what happens to people as they get much older. So McConnell wouldn't have won anyway. I don't think he would have won in a primary. And you can see he doesn't care by the way he's casting his votes. Although he did cast his vote for Kash Patel today, didn't he, Mr. Producer? I am a little surprised by that. But what's he going to do? Vote against all of the Trump nominees? Apparently not. So Kash Patel's in. I don't know who's left. Maybe the Labor nominee who Rand Paul has a huge issue with. A lot of people have a huge issue with. It's not really on my radar. But the ones that needed to get in are in, and that's a good thing. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world. Radio is where I get all of my information. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
LifeLock. During tax season, your sensitive info does a lot of traveling to places you can't control, stopping off at payroll, your accountant or a tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info in your W-2. Just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. I had my identity stolen. It was horrible. I got LifeLock. I've been a customer ever since. I've never, ever had that problem again. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock today. Don't get your identity stolen. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. Restoration's guaranteed or your money back. Don't mess around with this stuff. I dealt with this for a long time before I had LifeLock. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now, save up to 40% for your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock, use promo code Bongino, or go to lifelock.com/Bongino for 40% off. Terms apply. Do it today.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, the media station. Making sense of the news. Stop 105.9. News now.
It wasn't her body. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Israeli military now says the bodies of 2 young children kidnapped by Hamas on October 7th and returned to Israel today have been positively identified, but the woman's body returned with them is not Cherie Bibas, the boy's mother. That body remains unidentified. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is calling for the end of Hamas rule in Gaza.
This is a sick terrorist organization, no different than ISIS, and we cannot have Gaza ruled by a terrorist organization. Hamas has to be destroyed.
Remains of 83-year-old Oded Lifshitz were also transferred. He is believed to have been killed by the Palestinian Jihad. A federal judge is refusing to temporarily block the Trump administration's mass layoff of federal workers while a lawsuit brought by 5 unions moves forward. The judge finding the unions must bring their claims under federal employment law rather than in district court. The Department of Defense circulating a list of generals who could be fired.
A senior defense official confirms there's a list with a handful of names of top flag officers Department of Defense officials are considering removing or firing, while Fox is told the list has been conveyed to Republican members of Congress and not Democrats. Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Roger Wicker says he hasn't seen it.
No one has
House Armed Services Committee Chairman Hal Rogers also says he hasn't seen the list. A senior U.S. official says no formal notification to services or leaders about any firings has been made.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. The Senate prepared to stay up all night as they launch what's known as a vote-a-rama. They're now debating a $340 billion budget that President Trump's team says it needs to carry out his agenda. America's listening to Fox News.
Teen with a firearm arrested. I'm Sharon Reardon from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. Fairfax County Police say they arrested a 16-year-old high school student today after that student brought a gun to Edison High School and showed it to other students. Police quickly detained that person and the school was fully searched with a weapon detecting dog for any additional threats. Today's lockdown at Edison High was the second lockdown at a DC area public high school in 2 days. It's the start of budget season for local counties, with homeowners in Prince William County likely to see their tax bill jump in fiscal year 2026.
We are a growing county, and we have to be the kind of government that can meet the needs of our growing county.
Those needs will be met with a proposed residential real estate tax hike, says County Executive Chris Shorter, that include pay increases for first responders and a new mental health crisis receiving center.
What that will mean for residents is a 5.6% increase.
With the average Prince William County homeowner bill jumping nearly $300 a year if approved. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
And one Maryland lawmaker says given the current federal worker climate, the state's weekly unemployment benefit needs to be increased.
Unemployment insurance is separate and apart from the general fund.
Delegate Lord Charkoudian's bill to increase the benefit from $430 to $750 wouldn't compound the $3 billion budget deficit because, as she tells 7 News,
It's paid for by the payroll tax right now of the first $8,500 that someone earns.
Maryland's weekly benefit of $430 is below the minimum wage and the national average and hasn't changed in 15 years. Charkoudian's bill moves to the House next week. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon. And now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
In Montgomery County on the Beltway, Interloop and Chevy Chase, left lane is blocked for a crash between Connecticut Avenue and George Avenue. Into Prince George's County on the Beltway, no delays on the inner loop or on the outer loop. Now into Virginia, it's clear on both loops. On 66 in Fairfax County, no problems eastbound or westbound. And 95 in Virginia, northbound in Quantico, disabled vehicle has the right lane blocked between 619 and Dumfries Road. Traffic is jammed from the Marine Corps base exit. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 21. Tomorrow, sunny, a high near 38.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at NissanUSA.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1-pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full-body burn with the new Arrowhit workouts, the perfect blend of heart-pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. This is the Power Hour. Lee Zeldin will be with us in about 15 minutes, give or take. It is really weird, the media. You know, they're so now hung up on Elon Musk that you have people coming on their programs. Why are you allowing Elon Musk to do this? Why are you allowing Elon Musk to do that? There's almost no reporting on the things that they're finding. It's crazy. And the extent of it is unbelievable. It's unimaginable. The amount of money we're talking about is unthinkable. So there's Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary. He's on CBS Morning today. And they want to know, why would you allow Elon Musk to look into the things that you do there over at the Transportation Department, like the FAA? Cut 18, go.
He sought the help of Elon Musk, who founded the aerospace company SpaceX, and whose team toured the FAA's command center outside Washington this week.
Why wouldn't I ask Elon Musk? Why wouldn't I ask some of the best minds in the world to come in and offer us advice on how they think we can improve the system?
How do you avoid the potential conflicts of interest?
See, this is the thing, conflicts of interest. Was Nancy Pelosi ever asked about conflicts of interest? Seriously, I'm quite serious. And what's the conflict of interest? The guy's worth $400 billion. What does he want? A couple of dollars out of the FAA? The conflict of interest. Any comment about conflict of interest when any dark money billionaires are involved in anything, or the Soros family's involved in anything? When they took over 200 radio stations? Any questions about conflicts of interest with the FCC? I mean, this is a joke. Go ahead.
I don't want to see conflicts of interest. So he was talking to air traffic controllers, didn't plug into the system, but looked at the terminals that they use, the technology that they use, asked them, had a back and forth about what works well for you, what doesn't work well.
You see it less as a Doge project and more as like Elon Musk a la Accenture or a consultant sort of.
Well, when you think of Doge, or America thinks of Doge, they think of cutting, right? We're in the space of building. I want advice on how do we build out better infrastructure? And we're going to spend money to do that.
But that will also require Congress to act.
We have to get rid of the red tape.
So what is this? What is this? How they insert these little comments by this guy, Van Cleve, the voiceover. Also require Congress to act. Well, it would be nice if Congress actually did something productive and positive. Go ahead.
And we have to do this very quickly. We can't wait 4 years, 6 years, 10 years. We have to do it right now.
Again, shouldn't people be patting him on the back? He's trying to improve the system. What did Buttigieg do? He didn't do a damn thing. Nothing. Cut 19, go.
Some Democrats on the Hill are demanding answers about Duffy's decision to cut jobs at the FAA in the midst of the recent accidents.
all the critical safety positions like air traffic controllers and inspectors, all of those positions have been protected. No one's been fired. Actually, we're hiring into those spaces. So 352 cuts is 0.8% of the workforce, incredibly small.
Will there be future rounds of cuts?
Listen, there could be. I'm not sure at the FAA, but I think across government.
So the premise of the question, actually, the question was inaccurate. They're not cutting people from the towers. Now, what did the prior administration do? They didn't ask them about anything. And it's amazing. This administration has been in existence for about 30 days. That's it. And they asked about the FAA, but they didn't ask about the FAA under Biden, under Buttigieg. They praised them. Buttigieg made a lot of rounds on TV talking about anything but transportation and so forth. Here we have $20 billion slush fund, $2 billion going to a Abrams-aligned radical left-wing group that had previously raised $100. No questions about any of this stuff. $4.7 trillion that's improperly paid out, or is paid out without any tracking systems or any assurance that it's accurately being spent. But what's that all about? I told you about a GAO report not that long ago. It talks about $250 billion to $500 billion every single year that's lost to waste, fraud, and abuse. It's the real money. And the Democrats are going to try to shut down the federal government. Again, it doesn't bother me, but it seems to bother everybody else. They're going to try and shut down the federal government and then blame the Republicans who are trying to deal with. Let's be clear. There's one party that's trying to find the waste, fraud, and abuse and eliminate it and protect your wallet. There's another party that's trying to sabotage all these efforts to get the information and to fix the situation. One party. That's the Democrat Party. And they're judges. Now, there's a couple of holes being found in some of these judges. They're having to rule the right way because they know that it's so ridiculous. But there's other judges who are ridiculous, and they don't care if they're overturned. The more ideological of the bunch. So we have that going on, what I call judicial tyranny on top of everything else. On top of everything else. Now, what about giving $5,000 to every person, or is it every family, of the money that's found? And then, so the point is 20% would go back to the public, 20% would go to reducing the debt. Something to that effect. What do you think about that? Well, Jasmine Crockett, who's an absolute nobody, who's a nut. But ABC News today felt they needed to talk to her. Cut 7, go.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds.
Let's listen to these people. This clown. What do you mean he's telling a lie? It's something he wants to do. So how is he telling a lie if it's something he wants to do? How do you work with people like this? Seriously, bipartisanship. How do you work in any way in a bipartisan way with a nut job like this? Or any of the rest of them for that matter? Go ahead.
That was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us.
Now, let's go to Kevin Hassett, National Economic Council Director. He's at this White House briefing today. He's a really good economist, by the way. And that's why he's there. And of course, we have Caitlin Collins, who is a low IQ Democrat dressed up as a journalist, dressed up as a phony member of the CNN phony news platform. Cut 6, go.
On these potential checks that you might send out from Doge, is there a concern as you're thinking through this that they could be inflationary?
Oh, absolutely not. Because imagine if we don't spend government money and we give it back to people, then if they spend it all, then you're even. But they're probably going to save a lot of it, in which case you're reducing inflation. And also, when the government spends a lot, that's what creates inflation. We learned that from Joe Biden. And so if we reduce government spending, then that's, reduces inflation. And if you give people money, then they're going to save a bunch of it. And when they save it, then that also reduces demand, reduces inflation.
Those are called basic economics, but, it's CNN. What do you expect? Our country was founded on freedom from a country that forced us to buy overpriced tea, then tried blockading us when we dumped their tea into the ocean. Didn't work out very well for Britain, did it? Well, it's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard, too. You don't need to pay $100 a person every month just to get a free phone, folks. You know what we call that? A ripoff. Pure Talk, my cell phone company, says no to inflated prices. With a qualifying plan, you can choose an iPhone 14, which has everything you need, or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. And yes, this is for premium service on America's most dependable 5G network. Get your iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0, folks. Act now while you can with a qualifying plan by dialing pound 250, pound 250. Say the keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you make this switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks. Don't be scared. Jump in. Just honest to goodness wireless priced right. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword Mark Levin. Claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, America's wireless company, my wireless company, and hopefully soon to be your wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details. We'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1-pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full-body burn with the new Arrowhit workouts, the perfect blend of heart-pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
LifeLock, during tax season, your sensitive info, does a lot of traveling to places you can't control, stopping off at payroll, your accountant or a tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info in your W-2, just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. I had my identity stolen. It was horrible. I got LifeLock. I've been a customer ever since. I've never, ever had that problem again. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock today. Don't get your identity stolen. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 million protection package. Restoration's guaranteed or your money back. Don't mess around with this stuff. I dealt with this for a long time before I had LifeLock. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now, save up to 40% for your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock, use promo code Bongino, or go to lifelock.com/Bongino for 40% off. Terms apply. Do it today.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Oh, 15th tax deadline is coming fast. If you have unfiled tax returns or can't pay, you better not wait. The IRS is cracking down. Take my advice. Call Tax Network USA. They have an edge, a preferred direct line to the IRS. They know who to deal with and who to avoid. Their expert negotiators settle tax problems fast and in your favor. Call Tax Network USA at 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Levin.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, huh?
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for your total info.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
This is a major wake-up call.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of the border. Because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It's a pleasure to have our friend EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin with us. How you liking your job, Lee?
I'm loving it. And especially serving with President Trump, he is locked in and kicking ass.
Sure is, and so are you, and so is Elon Musk. So let's start with this $20 billion slush fund, and then let's get into the Stacey Abrams aspect of it.
There was a video that came out a couple of months ago, Project Veritas video. They got a Biden EPA political appointee talking about how they were throwing gold bars off the Titanic, rushing to get billions of dollars out the door before President Trump was sworn in, and giving out the money with an eye towards getting jobs for themselves from the recipient NGOs. So we've been trying to find the gold bars. We've found 20 billion worth parked at a bank outside of government. Well, the EPA under Biden gave out all of the money up front, and it was going to 8 recipients. 8 recipients, NGOs, all pass-throughs, received all $20 billion. That includes $2 billion for Power Forward Communities, which is Stacey Abrams' organization. Another $5 billion went to another entity where the person who gave it out, the director of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, was giving it out to his former employer. And that money was going to other entities, and some of them were pass-throughs. And I read through the grant agreement a little while ago for the $2 billion that went to Stacey Abrams' NGO. And page 1 of it says that $2 billion has to get distributed within 21 days. Oh. And then page 7 of the grant agreement says that within 90 days, they have to complete a training called How to Develop a Budget. I would suggest that if you don't know how to build a budget out, 1, that you need to take the training before you get $1, and 2, you definitely shouldn't be getting $2 billion.
I would think for that kind of money to go out, and sums much smaller than that kind of money, there would be some kind of a process. I mean, is there any way to know who directed this, who was responsible for it, the communications that took place between the EPA and that particular recipient and so forth?
Yeah, and it was actually multiple agencies. You had EPA and Treasury and OMB, the Office of Management and Budget. They were all working together to develop this scheme to get the money out. And now in writing, they took steps to limit the amount of oversight and accountability that government would have on purpose. September 18th is the financial agent agreement between Treasury and the bank. That limits oversight in many respects. The account control agreement dated November 1st, that was with the grant recipient. Again, there were 8 primary recipients, the bank and EPA. That also has all sorts of measures to limit EPA oversight. But then once the money goes to the sub-grantees, EPA isn't even a party to those account control agreements. And they were amending the account control agreements right up to inauguration. They were amending 3 of them on January 13th, just a week to go. And now here's the craziest thing. If I send a notice of exclusive control to the bank right now, I have to show that I have met all sorts of different elements of a crime being committed. And even when I do, it creates more powers, not less, for the grantee. The grantee can respond by telling the bank, hey, here's the other bank where I now want you to move my money, now that EPA has established this notice of exclusive control. So if I say that there's fraud committed in this letter to the bank, the grantee can respond by moving their money to some other bank.
Are you going to be able to pull any of this money back?
This is something I've been working closely with the Justice Department and the Department of Treasury. Pam Bondi's amazing, and now she has a new FBI director as of a few hours ago. And Cash is going to be fantastic, and that is something for them to be running point on. We're here to help them as much as possible, and I have a lot of confidence in Pam Bondi and her team. And they have been very focused, serious, and deliberate with this.
Has there been any effort to contact these 8 recipients or organizations to tell them, hold off there, boys and girls, we're going to try and get that money back?
The money is currently frozen. At this point, this is something where Justice Department is in the lead. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. So it's under investigation, I guess?
I can't confirm that.
Nor deny, which means yes. Okay, it's all right.
I would have to forward you to our friends at the Justice Department.
Well, a $20 billion slush fund, I mean, that is outrageous. And to push it really in the last months of the Biden administration, that's unbelievable. And OMB, really, the White House staff knew about these sorts of things. Don't you think this is the tip of the iceberg as Musk and Doge keep going through these departments and agencies one after another? Take off your EPA administrator hat for a second. You know, EPA is a big deal. It mostly does grants and contracts. People don't realize it really doesn't do a lot of scientific work and so forth. It pays for all that stuff. But you've got other departments and agencies that are like 10 times the size of the EPA. Can you imagine?
In this case, you're absolutely right. And I think the work that Elon Musk and his team have been doing has been a great service to the American people. I could say from personal experience that they have identified many grants that I have since canceled, which as of the next round of grants, it will be over 100 million. After the first round, it was 60 million. I did the first 9 working with them. I also canceled a grant for $50 million for Climate Justice Alliance. It's an organization that says that climate justice runs through a free Palestine. We canceled over $1 million worth of media subscriptions. We are trying to protect every dollar we can, and Elon's been doing this with all of these different agencies, and God bless them for it.
Mm-hmm. Are you getting any nasty letters from Democrats on the Hill for some reason telling you to stop this or something or other?
Absolutely, and they want the money for their friends. Yeah, I gave you the example of Stacey Abrams' organization getting $2 billion in 2023. Get this, Mark. In 2023, Stacey Abrams' organization received a total of $100. Mm-hmm. In 2024, they got a $2 billion grant. The amount of self-dealing that's going on, the conflicts, they want to take care of their friends. And now you can make an argument that there is a community that has been left behind, and they have this really important environmental issue where we need to deal with that. But in the name of that, to be giving out billions of dollars to your friends, do left-wing activism, that doesn't sit right with me.
Wow, you're doing a great job in the 13 minutes you've been there, Lee. Don't hang up, Lee. We're going to carry over to the next segment, if you don't mind. We'll be right back. When I first learned about the basics of estate planning, it was driven home to me the importance of protecting my family. We all know about creating a will or building a trust, but what people don't know about are how documents can be misconstrued if not properly done. You don't want to leave your assets vulnerable to the government's decisions. That's why I recommend Trust and Will. Be prepared. Protect your family by managing your will or trust online. Trustandwill.com. Use code MARK. You'll get 10% off at trustandwill.com. Code MARK.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service and is not a law firm. See trustandwill.com for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and eBill.
LifeLock during tax season, your sensitive info does a lot of traveling to places you can't control, stopping off at payroll, your accountant or a tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info in your W-2. Just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. I had my identity stolen. It was horrible. I got LifeLock. I've been a customer ever since. I've never, ever had that problem again. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock today. Don't get your identity stolen. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 million protection package. Restoration's guaranteed or your money back. Don't mess around with this stuff. I dealt with this for a long time before I had LifeLock. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now, save up to 40% for your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock, use promo code Bongino, or go to lifelock.com/Bongino for 40% off. Terms apply. Do it today.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Making sense of Washington.
So it happened again? Is that what you're telling me? Yet another guest of this program now has a job in the Trump administration.
Vince Colonnade, days 3 to 6 p.m.
The Trump transition team spending a lot of time on WMAL.com looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that good people are getting good jobs.
Vince Colonnade, days 3 to 6 p.m. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Making sense of your money.
The state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The kind of thing I pay attention to. I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Mic drop. Hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridlin. It's raw.
I've been shot at, blown up, you name it.
It's unfiltered.
You know, you go to the sound of the gun. Swear. I mean, I've had so many near-death experiences.
It's tough talk from the top minds in their field.
What if the units took a guy out back and shot him? Damn, you're gone. I would choose to do what Fuckman do. That's what I chose, and it's what I would choose again. I don't want you guys to cut any of this. Just listen.
Mic drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Maybe kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
The Putting on Airs podcast is half redneck, half posh. Ain't you fancy for being a fan? Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news. First thing each morning, O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on WMAL.
March the 10th. Well, Sunday, I'm all right. Call in now. 877-381-3811.
We're in periods of economic uncertainty. Gold should be the safe haven you're looking for. Unlike stocks or bonds, it's a physical asset that gives investors peace of mind. Gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years. It's why I diversify, and I diversify with gold. That's right. And I use Advantage Gold. I've dealt with other gold companies. They're the best. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. Join me in this investment strategy. It's called diversification with gold. Folks, when the stock market has its ups and downs, gold remains a rock-solid asset. It's not just a hedge. It can be proven safe haven for your hard-earned money. If you're looking to help secure your financial future, now's the time to add gold to your portfolio. Again, it's called diversification. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today. They're the experts I trust. They'll walk you through the process. No secrets, no risk. It's all transparent, step by step. Call 800-900-8000 right now. Take steps to control your future. 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. Okay, Lee Zellin, again, take off your administrator hat, although either way, it's fine. You're looking at Congress now. When you were in Congress, did you ever think, I mean, you knew there was bloat, waste, and fraud and abuse. Did you ever think there was anything like this?
No, this is next level. And this ended up happening with the Inflation Reduction Act. Congress passed it, and it was more money than the Biden administration was capable of being able to keep tabs on to ensure it was getting distributed correctly. And the people who are out there protesting Elon and protesting Doge and President Trump, they want to put their hands in the cookie jar. And they're upset that they're losing out on their stash that they secured passage of. I spent 8 years in the House. As you know, I've seen plenty of waste and abuse, but I haven't seen anything like the way this funding is getting just basically pushed out the back door the last half a year of the Biden administration because they just weren't able to do it themselves responsibly. So they said, well, here, NGO friends, you could do it.
And even now, when you look at the party opposite, the Democrat Party, they have absolutely no interest in uncovering any of this stuff, do they?
They're actually outraged that we have a zero tolerance for even a penny of waste. And whether it's $100,000 saved, it's 10 million saved, it's 20 billion saved, any amount, large or small, is our duty as a good steward of tax dollars. It is our fiduciary duty to the taxpayer. It is our oath. We should all be universally all focused on making sure that we're not wasting money. But they're actually outraged. A whole bunch of congressional Democrats sending me letters and calling up and protesting at our front door because we're not just sending it out, no questions asked. I made a commitment to the American people. I made a commitment when I was going through my confirmation hearing in Congress that if confirmed, that I was going to make it a top priority to get to the bottom of all this. And other members of President Trump's cabinet did the same thing as well. And yeah, for these congressional Democrats, they just want the money out, no questions asked. They don't care if it's getting wasted.
Isn't it because it's going to their friends, it's going to their causes, it's supporting their ideology, so they don't give a damn if there's waste, fraud, and abuse or not?
100%. And you know what? When you see these congressional Democrats pushing new legislation where they want to create a $1 trillion climate fund, when you see pushing something like environmental justice, or in the name of climate change, they're willing to bankrupt the country or cause extreme economic pain on their own constituents they claim they're there to fight for. The words and the ideas that might poll well is one thing, but the actual implementation of it is something that at this point, Americans should be a lot more informed, a lot more aware of, and don't let the Democrats pull the wool over our eyes. It is a policy that unfortunately wastes too much tax dollars, and we can't afford any more of it.
I mean, do they actually think this is politically wise to be defending waste, fraud, and abuse, defending the federal bureaucracy, defending the IRS, defending people ripping off Social Security and so forth? I mean, they really must want to protect this bloat, this government within a government is what I call it, this subterranean government. because I think they're willing to put all the cards on the table and fight for it.
Yeah, and they say that Elon Musk that wasn't elected. Well, none of the people in the executive branch, other than Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, were elected. And it's important for all of us to make sure that we are doing our part, and that Elon Musk, who's worth, I don't know, hundreds of billions of dollars, he could be enjoying a life that keeps him out of this mess in D.C. But there's so many people stepping up because they love the country. They feel a calling to serve. And does it threaten the status quo? Absolutely. And there is an efficiency that is desperately needed. And I would say that this is a presidency 1 month in that is on pace to be the greatest 4 years that we've ever experienced in a presidential term. I want more of it.
Well, we're going to need to hold the House because these fools are already talking about impeachment. And you know they're very dangerous and evil, and they will do whatever they have to do from their perspective to sabotage him. So it's very important that we remain united as conservatives, as MAGA, and as Republicans, both in the administration, out of the administration, and in the House. Now, let me ask you this, your knowledge in the House. Do you think the Republicans will be smart enough to unite around some reasonable package of tax cuts and spending cuts and spending priorities so we don't lose a single member, because we can't really afford to?
Yes, I do. We have to. And there are a lot of promises that were made to the American public, and you have to keep your commitment. I served with Jim Jordan my 8 years that I was in the House, and he was always talking about keeping your commitment. Don't forget, when that last election took place, you're knocking on those doors, what you promised the people when you're asking for their vote, you have to earn that continued trust. And the American public elected a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican president. It's important to deliver on your promises. And that's a lesson for anyone, regardless of party, regardless of what office you're elected to serve. Too many people forget where they came from once they get in. They forget what they promised once they get in. And they do not deserve any continued power if they fail to deliver.
And your priorities, in addition, and it's a lot of work, to digging out where all this money is going and so forth and so on, is what over there at the EPA?
We are finishing up our phase 1 hazardous material removal in Los Angeles. President Trump came in office. He said that EPA had 30 days to finish it with over 13,000 properties to survey and clear. We've been all over it to get it done on time, and we're going to get it done on time. Finishing up our mission in East Palestine, Ohio, and Western North Carolina. We just got a new mission assignment in Kentucky where there's flooding. I was just in Flint, Michigan today. There is a lot of important work on the ground. President Trump talks about how Americans should have access to clean air, land, and water. To have land, air, and water that is cleaner, safer, and healthier, that is something that conservatives believe in. We believe in conservation. It's something that we fight for proudly. We have to deliver on that too.
Yeah, the Democrats believe in spending money and rewarding their ideological soulmates. And you guys believe in actually doing something with the environment. Nothing goofy and radical and weird, just the basics. And that's very, very important. Lee Zeldin, thank you, my friend. You're doing a great job over there.
Thanks, Mark. Have a great night.
You too. God bless you. He's great, isn't he? I like these cabinet secretaries. He's a cabinet level administrator. They're enthusiastic about what they're doing. You hear Sean Duffy, you hear him, you've heard Hegseth, you hear the others. They're enthusiastic about what they're doing. They really want to jump in. They're not looking to just have a big name and big title and so forth. It's very, very exciting what's taking place. Are you looking for a voice that truly represents your values? AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, they were established to create, well, to fill that void. They're a champion for the American people. Excuse me. And they believe in faith, family, and freedom. They come first just like we do. Members gain access to incredible member discounts and benefits unmatched anywhere. You have an award-winning AMAC magazine. They have their own media platform, and they send out information. If you're a senior, they can give you useful advice on Social Security and Medicare. But here's the thing. You don't have to be a senior to join AMAC and get those benefits and the magazine and all the rest. From exclusive, these discounts in travel, insurance, and rental, and everyday services. Strong voice in Washington, D.C. to counter groups like the radical left-wing AARP. They're here to make a difference in your life and in our nation. And joining AMAC, well, you know what? They want to do something special in celebration of President Trump and the first 100 days in office. They want to give you, great Americans, a special discount exclusive to you, the listeners in this program. You can enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership, 47% off. It's normally $60, not a year, for 5 years. Join them now, $32 for 5 years. That's $7 a year, less than $1 a month, and one use of their discounts and benefits more than pays for the whole thing. So I want you to check it out. Visit amac.us/Levin, amac.us/Levin today. Take advantage of this special offer. That's amac.us/Levin. Join AMAC. Become part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future. Be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Hey, I'm Reba McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
If you're listening to sports,
If you're looking for an edge rusher, you're looking for a run stuffer, you're looking for a big time player in the middle of your defense, you're in luck.
mixed with pop culture, sprinkled with celebrity interviews,
The title Everybody Loves Raymond is appropriate for you to tell people to hurry it up. It's appropriate on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Bill Burr is here. I want to know who defeated to get that title as best dad ever. Saga of dads.
you're enjoying the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your money, the state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The kind of thing I pay attention to, I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorshoes.org.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
We won a major victory in November, getting America back on the right track. And do you know how you celebrate that victory? By flying your American flag that's made in America, not somewhere overseas like China. Folks, if there's one thing you own that should be made in America, it's your American flag. that you hang with pride outside your home. In fact, it should be a flag from Allegiance Flag Supply, hand sewn in Charleston, South Carolina by dedicated American craftsmen and women who put care into every stitch because they believe in what that flag stands for. I fly American flags all the time, but there's nothing like my Allegiance flag. It's a real showstopper, the highest quality American flag, period. Right now, when you go to showallegiance.com, that's showallegiance.com, Allegiance Flag Supply will give you $35 off your complete flag set. Again, that's showallegiance.com for American flags, made by Americans, for Americans, in America.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 W.
Fact is getting late. Time for my bedtime. What's the matter, Colin? Do I bother you? Bother?
Game poll a little bit here. Let's go to Asher, Chicago, Illinois, XM Satellite. How are you, Asher?
Yeah, hi, Mark. This is Asher. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I love what Trump is doing with Doge and everything, and Elon, it's great, but how are we going to make sure this stays forever? Like, we don't want it to go back.
Well, we're not going to make sure it stays forever because we can't make sure anything stays forever. Either we're virtuous people or we're not. Either we want waste, fraud, and abuse eliminated or we don't. We decide our own fate. And so presidents have 4-year terms. This president has 1 4-year term left. And hopefully we'll elect a conservative after that, maintain Congress as long as we can. But at some point, the other party's going to control things. And they don't believe in the Constitution, and they don't believe in fiscal responsibility. They don't believe in limited government, and they support, they've demonstrated, fraud, waste, and abuse to the tune of trillions of dollars. So we have to work to make sure that the right people are in office. Donald Trump is doing things that are literally revolutionary, absolutely historic. He's taken on the whole damn system. So, but we're not in 5th grade where we say, yeah, we snap our fingers and this will last forever. It certainly won't last forever.
So that's why what if we could get it into like amendments and like.
Well, an amendment of the Constitution would have to get 2/3 of both houses of Congress and 3/4 of the state legislatures, or conversely, you would have convention of states. So as of now, neither of those are going to happen.
Also, I want to ask about J.D. Vance when he spoke in Munich. I was wondering, like, he spoke like a little sharply, like towards them. Like maybe like for an ally, he could have been a little nicer. So like you could point it out, but
for an ally, he can be a little nicer. I thought he was pretty nice. I thought he was direct. I mean, maybe they should be a little nicer. I don't know what he said that wasn't nice. I heard what he said. He was direct. They're turning into moving from soft tyrannies to harder tyrannies. They don't believe in free speech. Oddly enough, 60 Minutes, which condemned him, then went and undermined its own propaganda when it spoke to the 3 German prosecutors. They're hunting down people. They're prosecuting people for criticizing.
Yeah, Vegas gets a little
on the internet. I don't think J.D. Vance could be strong enough in what he said.
Dry.
Fact is, he said it. He had the guts to do what needed to be done. Thank you for your call.
They blocked another one of my accounts.
Why do you care about touchy-feely crap, Mr. Bedusa? Isn't the substance the issue here?
I cloned Mike Harrison and they fucking blocked it.
Joe, Jasper, Texas, XM
That bald-headed fuck.
Joe, go right ahead.
Mark, thanks for taking my call. I really
You bet.
I'll be real quick. I want to make one point. I saw on Breitbart News today, and also on your station, they were talking about it as well, about Doge and President Trump possibly returning.
JC left. I just noticed it.
20% to pay.
No wonder Colin came in here.
Funding.
Colin calling me Gaydon. Look at this fucking Colin C calling me Gaydon. You punk motherfucker.
Talking about that going back to just those members of the public that pay taxes. Because
Well, I don't know. I'm not. I didn't hear what they said. Excuse me. I think they're talking about everybody, but maybe they mean the people who are paying taxes. I'm not sure.
I think it would be serve them better if they were talking about the payers, because I don't know what the numbers are, but I would just assume that probably 30 to 35% of the American citizens don't pay
I
taxes.
think they want to make it as simple as possible. You have people saying, well, what about billionaires and millionaires? And other people saying, what about I think what they're saying is, let's just give something to everybody. I'm guessing. I don't know. But I'll know by tomorrow. I'll see if there's any public information available on this. All right, Joe, thank you for your call, my friends. Good question. Let's go to Tony, New Jersey, the great WA.
Makes no sense. Comes in, makes a post, and retracts it. Colin C., you really are a dumb motherfucker.
For what he's doing in our country, he is able to, Mark, with his vision, go forward with.
Wow, just a goofy drunk.
And now God has found a man who can go and clean up Gaza. And also there's layers to it, Mark. There's cleaning it up, making it as beautiful a seaport as it was when it was with Greece in the 2nd century. But more than that, it's going to be a place, I believe, Mark, in layers of justice, where the righteous and the goodness of the land is going to be seen. And the world is a place where the world is going to say, we won't tolerate this anymore. And President Trump is the greatest president.
Tired.
I did a show on this, I think it was last week, maybe the week before. They're all kind of mixing together. I did an opening statement where I said he is the 3 great conservative presidents in the last century were Coolidge, Reagan, and Trump. And given Trump's past 4 years and what he's done in, I guess now 30 days, but back then 2 weeks, he may well be the greatest. And what he's doing is just historical. It's iconic. It's incredible. And his proposal for Gaza is the only proposal that makes any sense whatsoever, which is why the Arabs are against it, the left's against it. They call it ethnic cleansing, when in fact it's the opposite. He says, we got to clean out Gaza. It's a terrorist encampment. We got to make sure that it's not in any way rebuilt or re-engineered by the terrorists. We got to clean out all the bombs and everything else there, clean out all the buildings, and then we can build it back. American businesses can invest in it. Other countries can invest in it. Other people can invest in it. And meanwhile, the Palestinians will go back to their homeland, which was Jordan. They were Arabs out of Jordan. And of course, Jordan doesn't want them. Egypt doesn't want them. And Egypt is supposedly working on a counter proposal. Thank you for your call. Ladies and gentlemen, we salute our armed forces, police officers, firefighters, emergency personnel, our truckers, the men and women in Ukraine, our brothers and sisters in Israel, and you, the American people. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Making sense of your world. There are a lot of things that really pick me up. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
I'm Reba McEntire. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want.
Yeah, JC went off air. What happened? Oh. Yeah. Excuse me. Mm. Okay, perfect. I'm going to bed. Good night, everyone. Might go live later. We'll see. Bye.